Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be diving back into the XRP price chart, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys why I believe that the next move coming is going to be the one that takes XRP into new all-time highs. Now, XRP has been a laggard. XRP has had a lot going against it with the SEC lawsuit. Many people have actually turned their heads away from it, and it's divided the community as a whole. But with that being said, many people have continued to buy it, and we've actually seen XRP continuing to break out, continuing to make higher highs and higher lows as all of this FUD is coming around. I believe at the end of the year, we're going to see somewhat of a resolution when it comes to the SEC lawsuit. Many of the news that's actually come out against it has shown that the whole lawsuit is based off of a lot of FUD. It's based off of a lot of nonsense, and there really isn't a lot of tangibility backing that lawsuit as a whole. I believe that with the support XRP and Ripple is getting right now, many of these factors are really coinciding to create one of the biggest altcoin rallies in XRP that we have ever seen. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 21,000 members and growing. Links are provided for you in the description for the people that want to join and sign up for my community. On top of that, if you're new, just getting into these markets and you want extra educational content to basically help you guys make better decisions with your money, I have a free ebook that you guys can download in the description as well. Tons of exciting information that I know is going to help you guys to understand some of the basic concepts on what it takes to be more profitable. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are jumping back into the XRP price chart. Now you guys remember in my last video, I talked about the potential of XRP hitting $28. I've actually mentioned that that was my target for a long period of time. I had that target way before the lawsuit, actually when XRP was all the way back down in here in 2019. And so it hadn't even finished its short-term bearish cycle when I was actually coming up with a lot of these targets. And so I want to talk to you guys about XRP today, and I wanted to brush up on some of my analysis and really sharing with you guys, how we're actually going to get to some of those higher valuations. Now, are we going to hit $28? I really have no idea. This late in the cycle for XRP to actually go up that high, it would really be kind of crazy. I think it's unrealistic at this point. I don't think it's the likelihood scenario, although I do think it is possible. The XRP price chart, and specifically the market cap for XRP to come all the way up here at $28, it would basically have to be somewhere between $1.3 trillion in market cap. And so, while that's not, impossible by any means, I think that being this late in the cycle, it's going to have a lot of bullish sentiment coming to the market, specifically being something like, the SEC lawsuit falling into shambles, there being somewhat of a understanding that that wasn't going to pass through, XRP is deemed not a security, and in turn, all of the exchange relisted at the exact same time. That itself is why I think is going to happen anyways at the end of the year. I do believe that we will get a resolution in all of this, and it's kind of lining up that it's going to be doing so. When all of this news comes out, when you hear more details of this lawsuit, you come to understand that the whole entire thing was just massive FUD. It was used to suppress the prices of XRP, and the guy who signed it was a big advocate for Ethereum. And so there's a lot of, fishy stuff that's going on with that lawsuit, and that's why I don't believe that it holds any substance. I actually never believed it held any substance from the beginning. Unfortunately, we just have to go through this as a community if you've been holding it. Now, if XRP is to finalize, they are deemed not a security, the lawsuit falls through, I do believe we could see something along the lines of a $28 XRP, where we see a massive price increase from XRP. It would have to be one of the biggest increases in price in such a short period of time that the likelihood of this happening is probably pretty low. But I do think it's possible. Now, with that being said, guys, a target that I do think is very likely that we hit this year is going to be $10. I really do believe that we're going to be hitting $10 in this cycle at the minimum. Obviously we could overextend that. It's hard to say exactly where we're going to hit, but I do think that we're going to be able to hit $10 per XRP. And so it's going to be a great opportunity to make a lot of money in this cycle. Regardless if it goes to $28 or if it goes to $10, I do believe that we're going to be hitting about $10 inside of this cycle. And depending on many key factors like the lawsuit, we could go even much higher than that, depending on how much, bullish sentiment can come into the market, generate as much hype as possible. And it really all kind of hinges around that SEC lawsuit, because there's a lot of exchanges that would relist it. Coinbase, a lot of the Americans would be able to then trade XRP, and it would just be a great opportunity to see a lot of price appreciation in that process. But the thing to understand, guys, is just even if this doesn't finalize in the way that we expect, I do believe that XRP is going to continue to go up just as it has thus far. I mean, the SEC lawsuit happened here. XRP went from like 50 or 60 cents all the way down to about 15 or 16 cents. And XRP immediately bounced back on the upside and went up at, a few X. So it was like 2 to 3X that it went up in this move. And so obviously, even with all of these negative factors going against XRP, all of the FUD, it's still uptrending and making higher highs. And so there's no reason to bet against it. We know that this thing's going to keep breaking out. As long as the rest of the market's going up, XRP is also going to be going up with it. But I do believe that we're at that point in XRP's price chart where we're going to start seeing it make a lot bigger impulses. Now, the last one that we saw from, 16 cents all the way up here to $2, that was a massive move. But nonetheless, this is just the early stages of an impulse. It's just the very beginning of this. And we can see that the parabolic trend has only continued to get steeper and steeper. This was the beginning of that trend, and now we're actually getting even more parabolic as we continue up here. And we can see that as the degree of trend actually gets steeper and steeper, as the price of XRP is going more parabolic, we're at those final stages where we're about to see a big move coming. And based off of Fibonacci, we can actually see that that's going to be the case. Now, one of the ways that I like to analyze, where the next impulses are going to be able to go and how do we know how high they're going to get is based off of simple Fibonacci extensions. Now, if we measure from the low of the most recent impulse back up to the high around $2, and then back down to where the bottom of the retrace was, all the way down here at about 50 cents, for this to be an impulse that is actually the same size as the last one we saw, we need to see this go to the 1618. And if you guys have been following my Elliott wave count, you'll know that what we're gearing up for is wave 3 in this impulse. Now, inside of a wave 3 impulse, for this to actually be a genuine 3-wave, we have to see XRP go to at least the 1618, because inside of a 3-wave impulse, it can never be smaller than the first wave. The first wave is usually the smallest wave based off of Elliott wave theory. Sometimes wave 5 can be about the same size. Sometimes wave 5 can be kind of longer. It's kind of its own sort of wave where it varies from time to time. One waves cannot be longer than wave 3. And so if this next impulse is a wave 3 like I've been talking about, the price has to go to at least the 1618, which if you guys notice, the 1618 is actually going to take us to about $3.42, which is slightly past this all-time high for XRP. And the funny thing about it is this impulse right here on the short term, when we bottomed at 50 cents and ran all the way back up here at $1.41, this itself is actually a one-wave impulse as well. And what it looks like to me is kind of a fractal of this move just happening right here in the shorter time frames. And so when we look at this chart, we know that based off of this most recent move from 16 cents to $2 and back down, we have to see the next move go to at least the 1618 for this to continue to follow classic Elliott wave theory. And so if that's going to be the case, we are going to be breaking out, making a new all-time high just in the next move for XRP. And that's going to be taking us to about $3.42, which is just slightly past that all-time high. This is the Bitstamp chart. Depending on which exchange you look at, it might vary, but pretty much we're going to be right around that all-time high mark and breaking out of those all-time highs. Now, something to understand here, if we remove this, what I was just sharing with you guys is that this short-term impulse from 50 cents all the way up here to about $1.42, it really does look like a fractal of this move. And what's interesting here is this shows classic Elliott wave theory rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We got 5 impulse waves up, and we've actually finished an ABC back down, right? And so these are simply just higher highs and higher lows before we ultimately start breaking out and hitting somewhere about $1.70. This is going to be the next strong area of demand. If we can get up and actually break above this level here and flip it as support, in my opinion, we're going to see a big impulse after that, because there really isn't a whole lot of resistance left until those all-time high marks, we can see that after we get above about $1.70, you know, we have this short-term bubble mania phase that happened in 2017. It was the very big blow off top. There isn't that much liquidity actually holding the prices. Notice how it shot immediately up and then it broke all the way back down almost instantaneously. That shows that there really isn't a whole lot of demand in this area. It was merely just euphoria, and the prices couldn't even sustain that. It immediately crashed back down and fully retraced that move. And so if we can get above $1.70, that's going to be setting us up for a move to those all-time highs. And based off of how the actual Fibonacci looks, you know, I do believe that we're going to be starting to see this early on coming soon, because this entire move down here is simply just a one wave. And so if this is wave 1, we're expecting to see wave 3 next. Now remember, guys, if we follow the basic trend fib and we understand Elliott wave theory rules, we know that the one wave cannot be bigger than wave 3. And so for this next move, we have to go to at least the 1618, which targets are going to be about $2.31. But generally speaking, inside of a wave 3, it's going to go and extend higher than the 1618. It's going to be much bigger than wave 1. And so when it comes to analyzing for a wave 3, oftentimes we actually see the market move up to the 2618, which is actually going to be double the size of wave 1. And sometimes it can even extend higher than that. There's really no guarantee, or there's not one fib target that it has to hit besides going past the 1618, because that would just mean that it's at least the same size as wave 3, and that would mean that it would follow Elliott wave theory rules. But the thing is generally inside of wave 3, it's going to be bigger than the wave 1. That's just the way it goes. It's usually not going to be the same size. Inside of a weak impulse it might be, but generally it's going to be a lot bigger than that. And so we would actually be looking at something along the lines of the 2618, which price target's going to be about $3.20. And so if we come out here and we understand that if we've already finished wave 1, we have wave 3 coming in here next, and we know that generally wave 3 is going to be about double the size of wave 1, you know, somewhere in between here. We're looking at about $2.85 all the way up here to about $3.20. And so just inside of this three-wave structure, that's going to be taking us pretty much right back to those all-time highs. So not only do we have this impulse here from 16 cents to $2 and back down to 50 cents, explaining that we're going to be hitting at least those all-time highs. But on the short term, the most recent impulse that we saw from 50 cents up to about $1.40, we can see that this one is also showing us that we're going to be going to these all-time highs. And the funny thing about that is if we get wave 3 that comes in here, extends upwards of the 2618, we still have a wave 5 that will come in. And in my opinion, that's where we actually get a break past those all-time highs, is somewhere between wave 3 and wave 5, somewhere in here. And that's the fun thing to understand here, guys, is that would only complete a one wave for the most part. And depending on how the Elliott wave actually works, you know, generally speaking, this is showing the shortest targets that we could ever see. This thing's most likely going to extend a lot higher than that because this is the blow off top of the cycle. We would expect to see these markets actually go up a lot higher. And so if this is simply going to be a one wave, and wave 3 is coming, we would expect this next move to take us somewhere about the 2618. You know, similarly, how most likely this next 3 wave is not going to be the exact same size as wave 1. It's most likely going to extend higher than that, which would take us somewhere between, you know, the 1618 upwards of the 2618. And I've seen these markets overextend much higher than the 2618, sometimes even going past all of the Fibonacci targets. The Fibonacci is not going to be, you know, the ultimate indicator that's going to tell us exactly where it's going to go. It's a tool that we can use to understand, you know, pretty much just analyzing the wave structure and knowing how high it has to go at the very minimum. That, you know, pretty much leaves as much room for upside as we want because it can go way higher than any of the fibs even show. We could see wave 3 go past all of these fib targets. We could see wave 3, you know, not even hit 2618. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but with the price of XRP showing what it has thus far, with the degree of trend getting steeper and steeper and more parabolic, I do believe that we're going to see a pretty strong impulse coming in. And we've seen it every single time up to this point, right? And this is really going to be, you know, the way I believe that we actually see us go up to a $10 XRP. And I do think that that's very reasonable to watch for in this cycle. $10 really isn't even that crazy. It's past the all-time highs. It makes a new all-time high. You know, it would be a very profitable cycle for the people that got in really early. But for the most part, you know, I was always kind of expecting it would go up a lot higher than that. And so when it really comes down to it, we have no true idea how high it's going to go. But one of the basic principles, and let's remove these drawing tools here. One of the basic principles that I've watched when it comes to analyzing cycle tops for altcoins is basically analyzing the length of wave 3, or I should say just the beginning of the impulse. And we've seen the Bitcoin top somewhere between the 3618 and the 4236, which if this is going to be the same thing that plays out for XRP, you're looking at about a $12.34 XRP all the way up here to approximately a $14.50 XRP. And so this is showing us that on the bigger picture, from all the way back in November of 2015, if we analyze the beginning of this impulse back down to the bottom of the bear market, and we actually show these same Fibonacci that I've shared with you guys, how Bitcoin always tops around these exact same levels, you know, that's going to be showing us a $12.5 to $14.5 XRP by the end of this cycle. And I do believe that all of these are very much realistic targets. And when it comes down to analyzing the shorter time frames, I showed you guys how we could get close to $10 only hitting the very minimum price targets. Now keep in mind that this is a crypto market where oftentimes they far surpass their Fibonacci extensions. This is what happens time and time again. You're going to see it over and over again. We saw Bitcoin when it went from 10K to 65K. You know, its Fib target took us to about 40K at the max. That was like the 4236 said that we would stop at, 40K. We went all the way up to 65K. And so there's going to be times where it's not going to follow the Fib targets. There's going to be times where it's going to far surpass all of your Fib targets, which is why I've always stuck to the time frames, right? We don't know how crazy the end of the year is going to be. There's a lot of factors that correlate towards how the XRP price is actually going to, trend in these times because of the SEC lawsuit. If there's a finalization, it's deemed not a security, all the exchanges relist it, we're going to see a massive move coming for XRP. It's as simple as that. And so if that's actually going to be the case, there's too many factors that we can't predict. And so if we just simply analyze, what the fibs show us, we know that regardless, we're going to be seeing, in my opinion, a $10 XRP. I do strongly believe that. Now, we could very easily extend higher than that. Will we hit $28? I don't know. It's unrealistic at this point, being so late in the cycle. But how quick XRP is impulsed in previous cycles, I don't find it unrealistic as far as impossible. I think it is possible. I think that we could still do this. But for a $28 XRP to be possible, I do believe that we need to see some clarity inside of the lawsuit. That is kind of the biggest factor there. If we don't get it by the end of the year, chances are it's not going to get as parabolic as it probably could. But the thing is, guys, when I just stop and look at this chart, I can't help but think that this thing is just barely getting started. This is the very, very beginning of a parabolic move. We've literally just been grinding on this parabolic trend line, since the bear market ended back in March of 2020. It's just been building and accumulating. This is going to create a big blow-off top. And inside of these blow-off tops, it's anybody's best guess how high it's going to go. We've seen these things far surpass Fibonacci targets. We've seen them far surprise any of our wildest targets that we've had. And with XRP literally creating this massive accumulation trend all the way up pretty close to these all-time highs, I think that once this thing, in the next impulses flips those all-time highs, we're going to see a ton of new money flooding into the market, and we're going to finally see XRP kind of do the thing that we've always expected of it, which is pretty much just moves like this, right? When XRP takes off, it goes parabolic. It does stuff like this, right? Where we just see massive increases in price, very, very parabolic uptrends. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to see once again. We only have a couple months left. We only have, the very end of the cycle, which is customary to blow off top. We know that inside of the blow off top, you're going to have the most euphoria. You're going to have the most mania. The prices are just going to go vertical. And so the fact is, guys, XRP is accumulated and it's built its uptrend. We've literally been making higher highs and higher lows. And the parabolic trend is getting steeper and steeper right as we're about to be breaking those all-time highs. And so once broken, I think that we're going to get a move just like this, where it's pretty much just goes straight up. And if we can get somewhat of a finalization inside of the SEC lawsuit, I think that it could actually overextend a lot higher than any of these fib targets show us. That would be great. Obviously speaking, I want all the XRP community to make as much money possible. We've had to hold through the most crap out of any other crypto out there. There's no other crypto that got sued by the SEC. So in turn, if we can actually, come out ahead on this lawsuit, if we can actually beat if we can actually beat them at their own game, I think that that's going to create a ton of hype inside the market, and it's really going to prove that XRP is something that's going to be here long term. It's one of those blue chip cryptos, just like Ethereum, just like Bitcoin. and that's ultimately where we would expect to see some crazy impulses coming. So anyways, guys, this is the video I had for you. Want to talk about XRP. Wanted to share with you guys how the minimum targets are showing that we're going to be breaking these all-time highs very soon. On top of that, if we look at the minimum targets for the entire length of trend, I think that $10 per XRP is a very realistic possibility in this cycle. I think that that's going to be a safe target in this cycle. As crazy as that might sound, I think it's a pretty safe bet. You know, if we can go up even higher, I think that all depends and hinges upon the SEC lawsuit, how that plays out by the end of the year. But I wanted to give you guys this as just a way to help analyze and help you guys picture what is taking place right now. XRP looks phenomenally bullish. We have a lot of factors going with us right now. The more news that comes out against this lawsuit just basically proves it was nothing but FUD, proves it was just used to suppress the price of XRP. And I think that that's the big thing to understand here. As long as we keep holding, as long as we can get somewhat of a finalization by the end of the year, I think that my $28 XRP price target is still on the table. You know, as we stack up at the end of the year, it's looking less likely because there isn't much time. But, you know, with the SEC lawsuit, if that was to actually be beaten and we come out ahead on that, I think that anything's possible with how high the price could actually go after that. So anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or download my free ebook, links are provided for you in the description. For you guys that would like to join my Discord server, get access to all of my VIP products, whether it's the video course, whether it's the signals, or the beginner course. You guys are really going to want to jump into the signals at the very least. All the signals I'm taking over the course of this year as we prepare for the blow off top, and most importantly, how I'm actually going to be taking profits, where I'm going to be diversifying profits in the bear market, stocks, commodities, things like that. You guys are definitely going to want to check that out because it's going to be very profitable. Even aside from crypto, when everybody's worried about the bear market, when everybody's losing money, we're going to be compounding our gains in other markets, preparing for 2023 when we go back to buy that dip. If you guys want to know what I'm doing with my money, all the research I've put into other markets, all of that's going to be provided for you in the VIP. So go check it out. I look forward to seeing you guys in there. And with all that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.